Fast catch now. This is.
Welcome back. As usual, Brick World eats up a lot of my time, so I don't get to put these videos out as often as I'd like. But I do finally have the FW14B put together, and will be offering my humble opinion on it. It was a very fun model to put together. It goes really well in the collection, and I'm curious to see what you guys think. Now, if you notice that bright green Sauber there, you will probably know why it's there. So congratulations, Nico, and if you were there, let's get a hashtag Hulk podium in the comments. But that's not why we're here. We're here for the FW14B. So right out of the box, I did notice a few things, which I knew were coming, but the wheels and tires for this are way better, way more accurate than the MP4-4. Not only do they have the lettering, but they're different sizes, front and rear. And it seemed to have more stickers than the McLaren, but I'm actually not certain. I know the McLaren had some prints, and this has 0 prints, so we'll see how all that goes. For the build itself, it was pretty straightforward. It's been a year since I did the MP4-4, so honestly, just from memory, I can't tell you if they're similar or dissimilar. They're definitely different cars. They look different. The chassis is different. There were some similarities, stuff that I kind of remembered, especially with the suspension and stuff like that. But overall, it felt fresh and different. Just kind of like the Speed Champions. While they all look kind of the same, building them really isn't the same. So that was kind of nice and fun. One thing I did notice here, the engine compartment, it was, I don't want to say it's lacking, but the McLaren has a much better engine compartment. And granted, it's a turbo and this is naturally aspirated, but still, I feel like they left a lot of detail, especially on the engine, on the table. Outside of the engine itself, the rest of this kind of section was just building support for what's to come. Just kind of standard Lego stuff. I was kind of expecting some more Easter eggs, like in the McLaren there where they had the Brazilian flag under the engine cover, something like that. I know the Union Jack's going to be a lot harder to pull off, but some type of little tidbit, and really didn't get that. But I'm not complaining. I mean, Easter eggs are what they are, or maybe there was one and I missed it. But again, just kind of building up some structure, enjoyable, no real out there techniques, is kind of straightforward. We do get quite a few new, or not new, but some of the newer, different, wedge tiles and stuff like that. So if you are looking for just some parts, very, very good plethora of different wedges and slopes, just like the Speed Champions. Although it probably doesn't justify the cost to buy this just for parts. Now up here, this is what kind of disappointed me about this entire vehicle. I was really, really, really hoping there would be something, a small build or something to do with the active suspension. Now, there is a little knob thing that kind of comes off the nose cone there, and I'm kind of thinking that's the nod to, but it's not very prevalent. And what made this car so dominant was that it had the active suspension. So I really would have liked to see some type of, even if it was just a couple like greebling type things under the nose cone to highlight that it was active suspension. Now here at the back on the rear wing, it's kind of interesting. So like I said earlier, there are no prints, but this rear wing, just like the McLaren, has like critical alignment for the cannon on there, and then McLaren just says McLaren, but the McLaren was printed, so there was no messing that up. That cannon is 2 different pieces, and I mean, it's a sticker, so if you kind of mess it up, you messed it up. I was fortunate enough to not mess it up. Mine came out really well, but that was very, very interesting that was not a print. And if you do build this yourself, good luck. Take your time with the stickers, especially on that one, because it is critical alignment. I guess I kind of did fib earlier when I said there wasn't anything technique-wise that was interesting or new. I guess I said that about the chassis, but here the engine cover, the way they decided to put it together is pretty cool. It's somewhat unique. I want to say it's counterintuitive. I probably would have done a different way if I was mocking this, but it turned out really well. Again, a lot of stickers. I really would enjoy if these were prints. I know that maybe the stickers is because there's the huge aftermarket, and let's address the elephant in the room. We don't have the camel or the Marlboro for the McLaren on these for obvious reasons, and they are our aftermarket suppliers for both these kits to put those on there if you're a purist. I'm on the fence about it, but those do exist if you are interested. So at the end of the day, we're kind of wondering, is this a good kit? But more importantly, how does it stack up against the McLaren? So as a aesthetics point of view, I do think it tops the McLaren in two main points. One is the smoothness of it. It seems to flow a little bit better, especially in the nose area, than the McLaren. And two, I know I was complaining about the stickers, but where we did get prints on the McLaren, especially on the nose cone, and it came out all faded and blurry and kind of see-through, just like Lady Iron Dragon. Where we had the stickers, that wasn't an issue, and it does seem to be more going on with the more stickers. Obviously, the Williams had more sponsors than the McLaren did, but aesthetically, it's a better model than the McLaren. There are things I liked better on the McLaren. Like I said earlier, the engine bay. This is kind of like not a good comparison because they are, again, completely different cars. They're separated by 4 years. I like the McLaren's rear wing better than the Williams. Not to say the Williams isn't a good representation of what it's supposed to be, but again, just kind of like aesthetically and how the build went together. But overall, comparing the two, wheels and tires, Williams all day. The McLaren did have the printed rear wing, which was a plus, but it also had failures of print in the front. So if you're an F1 enthusiast, obviously I would recommend get them both. If you're just a Williams guy and don't care about McLaren at all, definitely get the Williams. Minifigures on both are pretty fantastic. I think Senna's a little bit more detailed than Nigel, but that's really splitting hairs. Overall, fantastic sets. I would buy both of them if I were you. And if you've made it this point in the video, you probably already have them both. Or maybe you're curious, and I would say go out and buy both. Do it today. So if you like this video, go ahead and give me a like and a subscribe. Drop in the comments if you have any future videos you'd like me to do. I'm always looking for material. And until then, happy building.